in London. This is what she says to The Cut magazine. And wait for it. That when she saw it, someone came out from the cast who was from South Africa and told her that basically when she married Prince Harry, it was as big here it comes. In South Africa as when Nelson Mandela was freed. Okay. So already it says a lot about Megyn. Like, okay, so I'm thinking, all right, the fact that she would choose that anecdote to relay to New York Magazine, essentially The Cut, as indicative of her press and how people feel about her is totally tone deaf, and her head is in the clouds, because people have said crazy nice things to me and they've said crazy mean things to me.
Are you serious?
And I would never repeat them to a reporter as indicative of what my press is or how people really feel about me, right? So the fact that she plucked that one to say this is what I mean to the people tells you a lot about Meghan Markle. But now we find out, wait for it, it appears to have been a lie.
Maureen. You don't say.
Maureen, the Daily Mail, and God bless the Daily Mail for going and doing this, they went and found all of the actors
Get some help.
who were in that live version of The Lion King. And they found the one guy who was from South Africa, as Megyn claims the person who said this to her was in the cast and from South Africa. Okay, and I'm going to read it to you. An acclaimed actor and friend of Nelson Mandela today told Daily Mail he's baffled by her suggestions that the country had rejoiced when she married Prince Harry, and revealed he's never met her, despite claiming to be the only South African member of the cast in Disney's remake of The Lion King. All right.
What the hell?
So his name is he's gone on the record. His name is Dr. John Kani, Kani. He believes the Duchess of Sussex has made a, quote, faux pas after she used a U.S. magazine interview to imply that her royal wedding sparked celebrations in South Africa, reminiscent of the release of his friend,
That doesn't make sense.
Nelson Mandela, the legendary anti-apartheid leader. He said Mr. Mandela's walk to freedom after 27 years was a landmark moment, while her marriage to Prince Harry was no big deal in South Africa, adding that the two events, quote, cannot be spoken of in the same breath.
What the hell?
And you can't really even say where you were when Meghan married Harry. She, of course, had gone on, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's her quote. I just need you to know, he allegedly looked at me and said, I just need you to know when you married into this family, we rejoiced in the streets the same as we did when Mandela was freed from prison. But Dr. Kani, a veteran of the Royal Shakespeare Company who voiced the mandrill shaman Rafiki, told DailyMail.com he was the only South African in the production. He's never met Meghan. He was not at the UK premiere.
What?
And he said the only other South African who was involved was Lebo M, a composer who was responsible for the music, but he was not in the cast. Anyway, Maureen, it appears to be completely made up.
Oh, I feel as though everyone aside from Meghan Markle has realized that Meghan Markle is now firmly in camp territory. To compare yourself.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
A minor royal who worked for, I think, 18 months, maybe, to Nelson Mandela. I mean, I said in the column, it's clear she has no friends left. It's clear that there is no publicist or, wait for it, crisis manager of repute who would work with her. It made me laugh out loud, but also it was jaw-dropping and offensive and narcissistic isn't a big enough word. But she keeps giving us, like, this is the content she's providing. She doesn't realize it's
Stop it.
comic relief.
Right, we're not admiring her. She
No.
doesn't understand. And then when we don't admire her, she gets confused, like I'm being misrepresented again, as opposed to the reality of, no, you're perfectly well represented. We see exactly who you are.
That doesn't make sense.
And are reacting accordingly.
Well, you mentioned at the top of the segment, her second podcast episode. I listened to the first. It was really tough going. I mean, I earned my paycheck that week.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry say that they were in a near catastrophic car chase involving paparazzi in New York City last night. Near catastrophic. What does that mean? I mean, near catastrophic is what we all have every time we look down to change the radio while we're driving our cars or engage in the stupidity of checking a text or our phones while we're driving. That's near catastrophic. It is. Anything could happen with anybody on the road around your car.
Fact.
It was near catastrophic, you see. What they say, this is per CNN, is they were involved in a near catastrophic car chase involving Paps last night, Tuesday, according to their spokesperson. Have yet to hear from anyone in the NYPD.
Are you serious?
On any of this. The couple were followed by a swarm of paparazzi, but there was no car accident, according to a law enforcement source. So a law enforcement source is saying no car accident at all, but there were paparazzi there. Okay.
Here it comes.
Night in New York. Ask any person of interest or who's a public person. It's happened to me. I've seen it happen to others. I was at a restaurant, Nobu, one time when it was like you would have thought that the actual Queen of England was there.
Are you serious?
In fact, it turned out to be Kendall Jenner. Or no, the other Jenner. The other one. What? Kylie Jenner. I guarantee she had more people following her than these two did. The incident happened after Harry accompanied Meghan to the
Almost there.
Women of Vision Awards held at the city's Ziegfeld Ballroom. They were traveling also with Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland. Spokesperson for the couple said last night the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Mrs. Ragland were involved in this near catastrophic chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. The relentless pursuit lasting over 2 hours resulted in multiple near collisions. Again, no actual. Involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 NYPD officers who were apparently there to protect the couple. By the way, they're probably from,
Wait for it.
I'm told by law enforcement, from the Intel division within the NYPD, which is sort of like the Secret Service and will sometimes go to protect VIPs in town for events like this. The statement said the couple understand that while being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public,
Fact.
it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. And now they want to discourage against dissemination of the images, given the ways in which they were obtained, because they encourage a highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. Well, sorry, you two, but you're in America now.
Okay.
And in America, the press has the right to photograph you when you're in a public place or on the streets or leaving a place like the Ziegfeld Theater. That's the way it works here. And it's not pleasant. I've been followed as well, but it's part of life in this country where we still have freedom of the press. You don't like it? Go back home. For the love of God, please go back home, Harry. Take your wife with you. I don't know how we got saddled with you to begin with. So now they come out and say to
Wait for it.
TMZ that what happened was they got in their black car, their black SUV, and then they switched cars. They got into a New York City taxi to try to fool, I guess, the Paps that they were still in the SUV. But no, in fact, here's video that TMZ just posted.
Stop it.
Of them in the taxi. And you can see the paparazzi lights actually photographing the two. Okay, this is what happens when you are a star and you're whizzing around New York. I mean, this is nothing extraordinary for a night in NYC.
Okay.
What exactly happened that made it sound so harrowing for them? We don't know. This is what CNN reports. Paparazzi on scooters and bikes zoomed down the sidewalk to keep up with them, according to an unnamed source. Well, I look forward to seeing the actual video of that. Could have happened, but more than likely, that would be really tough to do in New York City's Times Square, which is where they were leaving from. And I'll tell you one other thing that doesn't check out about their story. There is no way of having a 2-hour car chase in New York City.
Fact.
In Manhattan. There just isn't. There are too many stop signs. There are too many red lights. There is too much foot traffic. There is too much actual traffic. And it's impossible to be in a car chase in this borough for 2 hours. So exactly how did that happen? It would have happened out of choice.
Are you serious?
The couple must have been willing participants to some extent because there are hundreds of places to pull over and get to, quote, safety, which is what they claim they wanted. Right? So I've got questions. In particular, because they have a history of lying, as you know, and even of exaggerating their alleged car chases. Who could forget this scene from their Netflix special where they were urging one another to remember safety first after One guy on a Vespa was following them, allegedly.
Okay, I'm listening.
Safety first. Okay, yes, right, with the one guy on a Vespa. So they have a history of exaggerating the danger they were allegedly in. Remember when she tried to lead us to believe that her son Archie was basically in a fire?
What?
When they were on that overseas tour, and it turned out one heater in a room that Archie had been in but was no longer started smoking. The child was nowhere near it and was never in danger. So she's got a history here. Let's not even talk about the Oprah interview. Online, people are calling them the Jussie Smolletts of New York City. Other people are saying, call Oprah right away. Talk about. Let me tell you about something. Most of us who are public figures go through something like this multiple times, and we don't run to our PR agents and have them release a statement playing the victim. My safety was in danger. It must stop. It has to stop. All right. And I've never revealed this story before, but I will because of what we're seeing here.
Okay.
It was right after I left NBC. I was very much in the news. The paparazzi were all over me. Well, unfortunately, I found out that I had a small basal cell carcinoma on my left temple. It was a nothing, but as you know, if you've ever had one of these things,